There's a nice picture here of, this is called a press release. This was, this is a period piece from the time. Hitler congratulating 3 of the dockyard middies that built the Bismarck. And these would be issued to the newspapers during the time, so that would be a period piece. That's a stone lithograph, and he was a wartime artist, World War I. Nice to have that. It was given to me, actually. It's a few things that were given to me here. World War I propaganda poster. The pictures here are prints from Robert Taylor, and he I love his work. Very, very dramatic. The bottom one here has a cap telly, which is the guy that signed the picture.
Who are the signatures? Because I knew
Briggs.
George Banfield.
Yeah, he was one of them, eh?
Yeah.
Briggs is the other one. That's him. Okay, that's the signature. That's his signature there.
Okay.
There's only 3 survivors out of a crew of over 1,400. It's kind of a war crime, but of course you don't get to try the victors for war crimes.
No.
only the losers, right? World War I U-boat, Merchant Navy.
World War I.
Yeah, World War I. That was it's the mercantile maritime medal for the merchant seamen, which is something we did in World War I and never did in World War II, for God's sakes.
Well, actually, speaking of that, how many ships were sunk in World War I?
He won the Life Scout the Boy Scout Life Saving Award in gold. He rescued a guy out of a river in the Cadillac River, I think that's Saskatchewan. That's his commendation from the Boy Scouts of America. Probably the only Canadian Navy guy that ever got that award. With his Blue Peter, which is a long service, this guy was in Korea as well. He was the same trade as this guy. They probably sailed at one time. They could have sailed on the same ship because they were both on the schooner. They were both the same trade, actually.
You got a lot of stuff here.
I do have a lot of stuff, and that's the same bonus we got in the front yard. Okay, this is the thing we haven't built on it. Was the gun deck? We haven't done that yet. But that's another Type 9. And what they did near the end of the war, they tried to run the Bay of Biscay on the surface to cut down on their time on station, right? But there's another poster that a friend of mine came through my museum here, and he lived really close by, and he collected U-boat stuff and that. I never knew about it. He came here, and he went, "Oh my God." He was about to leave, and he said, "Well, George, this is something I think you might like," and he unfolds this thing on a hood of his car. Ah! I went, "Oh my God." So as I tell everybody, I think I had it framed before he left the yard. It was a prize piece, yeah. This is a couple of other really nice pieces that I have. These 2 pieces here came from an antique store, and these 2 pieces here were off this ship here, which was called the Gorilla. Now this was one time again Hitler's yacht, and Hitler did not like to go to sea. This was his personal yacht. It ended up, and because it wasn't even utilized that way, it ended up at the end of the war as being a submarine command vessel where they had, I don't know how many transmitters, but they used it for communications to U-boats. So it fits my museum pretty well, eh?
Yeah.
These 2 pieces came off this grill, and one is an Astro Globe. The Astro Globe's nicely marked, heavy brass, and the picture there is actually showing 2 U-boat guys, 2 submariners. Really, really hard to find these. I am in touch with, or have been in touch.
Gimbal rings?
No, they're not gimbal. No, they're just straight. Yeah, they're just straight. They call them Astro Globes, and yeah, they would just sit on a desk or something. I'm in touch with a guy in by Submariners because they're nice and small, go in your pocket. Yeah. There's a voltmeter and an ammeter, right? Yeah. He had the ones who had the Eagle M. So these were secondary to him. He was in Stoker. He rebuilt the Type 21s. So he was through here a while ago, so he could recognize a few things. Yeah, say to most people this is just a gauge, but to me it's quite nice collectible. Anyways, Paul Darcy has one of the foremost authorities on U-boats, and I've been in touch with him and I talked to him. He's got everything you can imagine except a U-boat. One thing I got a one-up on him is this piece here. I got this here through a Canadian collector. This is used on U-boats exclusively, and I put my show on. Yeah, very, very rare. Yeah. And Paul Darcy doesn't have one. You know, so that's pretty Some more binoculars down here, all